Martin says, I used to not believe in things I didn't see. But now I am no longer a normal boy because I have seen monsters in my life that were only heard about in stories. Something tries to come out of the trunk of his car, but Martin shoots it and drives away. Then we see Martin with his family and his father trying to fix their car and his mother holding a baby girl. They heard on the radio about the threat and suddenly their dog ran out and Martin went to get it back. Suddenly someone attacks his mother and when Martin goes to get it back a man comes and stops him. They go inside and Martin sees his mother dead and his father heavily wounded. Martin sees a vampire crawling on the roof, he throws his sister and then comes to attack them. Mr. fights with it but the vampire is stronger, Martin shoots it, and when Mr. stabs it in the heart Martin hits the hammer which kills the vampire. Martin's dying father asks Mr. to save his son and Mr. kills him. Back in the present, now Martin lives with Mr. who gives him training to kill the vampires. The cities turn into ruins and they travel towards the west to find people. The plague spread all over the world and the vampires started to rule the world. They stop at the abandoned facility and see the burned vampire corpse. Mr. pull out its teeth. Mr. stabs in its chest and then back on its head to kill it properly, telling Martin that vampires work like reptiles so it's important to stab them in the head or heart. Mr. gives him a stake and explains how to use it. They then put nets on their car to avoid the attack of the vampires. After resting in the car for a while, they head out and reach a lockdown. A man searches them and Mr. shows him the vampires' teeth and after seeing the man lets them go. A doctor in the town checks up on Martin and tells Mr. that your boy needs fresh food. The doctor tells Mr. he would get better if he stayed with other children but Mr. shows her the medicine and leaves. Martin does the cutting, after which they go to the store to buy some supplies. Storman asks Martin what area you're heading to if you're vampire hunters and Martin tells him we're going to New Eden. Stormman tells him that it's dangerous to go there because there are more cannibals than vampires, but Martin ignores him and leaves. They enjoy the night at the club and in the morning Mr. leaves a whore's room and they both leave the town. On the way, a woman comes in front of them, who is followed by two boys, and seeing this, Mr. stops the car. Mr. beats them and when one of them starts to run away, he stabs him in the back. Mr. encourages the woman, takes her in the car and drives away. They stop at a house where the woman tells them they told me we were Christians and then started raping me. Mr. tells her that nobody is good in this era and then they put a fence around the house. Mr. cuts Martin's finger to pour blood on the teddy bear to lure the vampires into the trap. It starts to rain during the night and while Mr. is smoking he hears the sound of a vampire and wakes Martin up. Seeing a vampire, he pulls the teddy bear forward and as the vampire grabs it, he gets caught in a trap. Agatha also wakes up, and Mr. and Martin go out to kill the beast. Mr. beats it and Martin stabs it but misses its spine. Mr. scolds Martin for this. The vampire crawls and Mr. kills it without mercy. Agatha becomes emotional and touches the vampire's eyes. The next morning Agatha puts flowers on the vampire's grave and asks Mr. how many have you killed now? Not enough, Mr. says. Agatha asks about the two rapists and Mr. tells her rapists don't matter in my book. Mr. again teaches Martin how to fight and then continue their journey. On the way, they see dead bodies hanging and they reach a town where they see dead people. They heard a child crying and they found it a trap. The dead people surrounded them but they were from the Brotherhood tribe. They tie up the three and hang Mr. upside down. Then the gang boss Jebediah tells Mr. that you killed my son and left him on the street in agony. He hits Mr. and then grabs Martin and tells Mr. now your boy will pay the price. Martin tells him my father is dead but Jebediah buries his head to the ground. Jebediah then touches Agatha's chest telling her you can still serve me. Jebediah goes to Mr. telling him God sends you back to me to purify you and Mr. spits on his face. They take three of them and on the way, Jebediah leaves Mr. on the road at the mercy of a group of vampires. Agatha is taken as a sex slave and Martin will be kept as a forced convert to the Brotherhood. Mr. fights with the vampires and frees himself. The next day, the man frees Martin and asks him to fill the water and takes Agatha inside the tent for sex. Martin runs away, by making a wooden weapon, hiding from his enemies approaches the car. A vampire sees him and runs to attack but suddenly Mr. pulls him in the car's trunk. Mr. rams the car into the vampire but vampire still hangs with car to attack. Then Mr. crashes the side of the car into a tree and gets out of it hitting him. While Martin stitches Mr.'s wound they listen on the radio. Brotherhood gang informs their followers of the capture of Mr. and Martin. They reach another town where people are tying vampires. Inside the bar Mr. trades vampire teeth and some weed to get food and drink. Martin sees a woman named Belle who is singing and Mr. starts dancing with a girl. Martin is still looking at Belle and finds she is pregnant. As they leave town the next morning, Bella also leaves for New Eden with them in hopes of making it better for her child. They break into the house to spend the night and see a couple of dead bodies. They throw the dead ones out and then the trio dinners. Martin goes to the attic where he finds a vampire girl and runs down to inform Mr. As the vampire comes down, Mr. grabs it and Martin hits it on the stake to kill it. Moving forward, they see a brotherhood gang killing people for no reason and the trio continues their journey. Martin kills the vampire and there they find a man locked in the toilet by Brotherhood. His name is Willie. A former Marine, Willie informs the group that American military forces were withdrawn from the Middle East to help contain the outbreak and that there is no Middle East to fight over anymore, as it is overrun by vampires. He goes on to say that the Brotherhood was partially responsible for the fall of America, ramming cars filled with vampires through blockades and crashing airplanes filled with vampires into cities. Overwhelmed as the plague spread across the US, the armed forces collapsed and no longer exist. Belle comes running to the man asking for help and as he turns, Mr. knocks out the man. They find the truck to collect the supplies and then make their appearance like a Brotherhood gang. They catch Jebediah and after tying him, Mr. cuts his back to lure the vampires and leaves him alone. After traveling from the north, the group reaches the survivors' settlement and after checking they go inside the town. At night, Martin finds Agatha who escaped from the Brotherhood camp. While everyone is enjoying, suddenly, the Brotherhood gang drops vampires from a helicopter who start killing people. The group hides inside the house and spends the night in horror. Detective Harley asks Mr. to rebuild the statement because they killed last night's attackers, but Mr. decides to leave. The officer tells him to use the backside roads, they're the only way out here because Brotherhood owns the rest. Due to the long drive, their car's radiator breaks down on the way and they all start traveling on foot. They manage to avoid dangerous areas for some time. While sleeping at an abandoned auto junkyard, they are attacked by berserkers, the oldest and strongest kind of vampire. They run into a cornfield and Sister diverts the chase away from the others, then shoots herself in the head when overrun. After several days of walking through the wilderness, they take shelter in a broken-down school bus turned camper and notice in the morning that Willie is missing. The three search for him, first finding his blanket, then finding Willie killed and strung up in a tree. Mr. notes he has never encountered a thinking vampire before and warns the others to stay alert. Despite their best efforts, Belle is taken from their campsite during the night and Mr. and Martin find her in an abandoned silo the following day, wrapped in barbed wire and bitten. Jebediah Lovin, now a thinking vampire thanks to having given himself willingly to the vampires that attacked him. Jebediah reveals himself and attacks Martin and then Mr. Martin manages to impale Jebediah and an injured Mr. finishes him off. Martin kills Belle, saving her from becoming a vampire. The duo head north again, acquiring a pickup truck, and they meet Peggy, who lives alone in an abandoned restaurant and who picks off approaching vampires using a crossbow. Martin and Peggy have an instant connection and Martin easily attacks and kills a vampire outside the restaurant that night, with Mr. covertly looking on. The next day, Mr. is gone and Martin finds his mentor's skull pendant hanging from the truck's mirror. He and Peggy head off by themselves, finally arriving at the border to Canada, the New Eden for which they were searching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.